Hi, John here, and just want to do a short video response to Matt McFarland's article. He talks about that America's clumsy regulation of drones stirs up frustration and confusion. And yeah, I absolutely agree, and that it's right now pretty chaotic, and it's just that thing of where in this situation, what are people to do? On the one hand, you have the artists and the people who are just wanting to kind of do great, cool things with these videos and stuff. And the other is government regulation, which can seem like the bad guys, but on the other hand, I am also a private pilot, a licensed private pilot, so I understand the issues that um, of safety and concern, and never mind, like kind of just basically, it's just a thing of where how do you balance the two needs, right? Between what artists want to do and then what, meanwhile, these different um, regulators are trying to keep us safe and stuff. So it's a challenging, question. And I guess you have to just kind of decide to some degree, you know, where is that, kind of balance point, like at which case, where we kind of at least contain the dangers, because certainly, just like flying, as a pilot, we understand that there's no such thing as risk avoidance, just risk management, and that's really what like kind of what we need to strive for. Um, and that's also in a way that's the very nature of art too, is just to push the boundaries and to do things that just haven't been done before. So in the article, Matt talks about how Eric Austin's a one of the exceptions to the case. He's one of the individuals who's actually gotten approval to operate within the U.S., but meanwhile he's missed out on a lot of opportunities. And I think that's the same way overall with just right now there's all these and in fact I'll kind of post the links on this the blog posting I'll make related to this video that basically there's quite a few productions that are trying to get permits approved, but so far it's like something like a 9-to-1 ratio of like kind of getting approval within a reasonable amount of time. I know from again working in the film industry that they're often on a pretty tight schedule, and it's a lot of things that are will bring up the cost of productions and stuff if there's delays to if their film production is kind of their schedule is delayed, then that means at different times things either have to be rescheduled or canceled, or there's any number of crew and logistics involved. So I'm not even talking about like things like Amazon, you know possibly doing their testing outside the U.S. I'm not even talking about like Google's like kind of doing, even going to Australia and stuff, that Matt mentions in his article. Supposedly one of the ways that right now there's the FAA is kind of handling it is by requiring operators to have private pilots licenses, and I think that's a little extreme. I don't think there's a need for that, because it's they're not flying the same thing, and then it's kind of like the similarity I'd say is like requiring somebody who's driving like a moped to have a driver's license and stuff, and it's just not the same piece of equipment. It's not the same possible damage or but at the same time there's potential. So I think generally, just like something like operating like a moped or something like that, um, versus a car, you need to understand the rules of the road. So I think that is appropriate to have a ground school for drone pilots to understand, how Class B airspace works versus a Class C and so forth. So there is some validity to what they're trying to do. They're trying to get their handle on it and stuff. But I think, like often kind of happens, you need to have some kind of fast track, because certainly, I mean, look at Japan. As his article talks about, they've been using drones for crop dusting since the 80s. I mean, and I guess in Canada, he mentions that you know there's a certain kind of restriction, or there's certain kind of consideration for so whether it's used for research, or also how much does the drone weigh. Like a 3 pound drone is very different from a 50 pound one and stuff. So I agree that that's really some of the issues is that, like, you have to kind of be considerate of like kind of operating different airspaces. You have to be considerate of realistically what's the potential dangers and stuff. And overall, like, you need to kind of work with the different industries, like film and TV, and then see about how to kind of help them, instead of hamper them and stuff. And I think this is just one area that technology is moving really fast, and it's really kind of just making it hard for the government to kind of handle the rate of change and stuff. And what we need to do is, I think, more importantly than and having some experience when I was working stationed in Washington D.C. as one of my last duty stations, that you just need to have these fast track programs, or just bring in people who are knowledgeable of the issues and stuff. Have them kind of um, be the key people to be talked to and stuff like that. Um, and like, try as much as possible not to have things sit into committees for on and on, and for that matter, like get lost in layers of bureaucracy for things being passed and stuff. And that's really it. I mean, otherwise, nothing's going to change, and you're just going to have frustrated people, and then people ultimately are going to just basically end up, breaking the laws that, because you haven't adapted the laws to the situations and stuff, and that creates more headaches and heartaches and problems overall for everybody. So that's my 2 cents on this. Just wanted to kind of, just discuss some of these issues, and I welcome your thoughts and um, comments. You can comment on my blog or on the video below. Thanks so much.